Hello there guys, welcome back. It's Joey and today we're going to be looking at Ghosts and Spirits Tarot by Lisa Hunt. I was having a bit of a crap day yesterday and I decided in the end to order myself this tarot set which I've been eyeing for a while, and I decided to do this for a number of different reasons. One, like I said, I have been eyeing it every now and again thinking, oh that's interesting, oh that would be nice, some of the cards look really great, and then I tend to and ah and not get it. And then yesterday on Facebook there was a particular, I think it was a tarot related page, shared a picture of one of the cards and I was like, oh that's amazing artwork, where's that? And it was this again. And so I went online thinking, you know, I'd had a really crappy day and I was like, how much is it? And everywhere I was looking it was £35. I was like, no, that's too much. But then I went on to Amazon and there was one seller who was selling them and had two left for £7.79. They are called the Tarot Chest and apparently they have their own website, tarotchest.co.uk. So it's a UK based website for anybody in the UK looking for tarot and oracle cards. Having a look generally through them, I think the prices are about average. I don't know though, they might be well priced. I mean, they've got the Medicine Woman Tarot here is $13.99. Napo Tarot is $13.99. Native American Tarot is $17.99. That sort of thing. Samurai Tarot is $17.99. Steampunk Tarot is $24.99. So maybe a lot of these are a little bit cheaper than they would be elsewhere. I'm not a huge expert with regards to price, but I actually got this through Amazon, which I prefer to do because if something goes awry then you have an extra backup with Amazon. A bit more buying clout, a bit more of a safety net. So first and foremost, the price was really good via Amazon. It was £7.79, where everywhere else it was £35 just for the set. So for that price, it's really, really good. And I think for the time of year, with it being Samhain soon, you know, these are going to be perfect for a Samhain reading. So I ordered them yesterday and they came in today's post, which is pretty good. Pretty good. You can't really argue with that. It's me thinking, I don't know if I'll get them in time for Samhain, but it would be awesome if we'd... Yeah, next day. So that was really great. I don't know where they're actually situated. I don't think it actually says. Oh, no. But there you go. Right. There are a couple of downsides to the deck already. The first one doesn't bother me whatsoever, which is the box. Okay, it depends whether or not you're bothered by this sort of thing. So I've taken the cards out. It's one of those really, I mean, you can see it squishing as I just do that, flimsy boxes. Try not to spoil the thing. And it's, you know, the cover art's lovely, but the box is paper thin. It's rubbish. So if you keep them in these sorts of boxes, you might be disappointed by that. I don't. I will seek out and buy a cloth, usually a scarf or something, which sort of has the same energy as the cards, and wrap them up in them. And I do that for all of the cards that I work with. So that doesn't bother me personally. It might bother some people. This is published by US Game Systems Inc., by the way. So then the next thing is, with it being one of those quite small boxes, then the booklet is one of these paper thin things. This I'm not keen on. I don't like it when you get very small paper booklets with cards. They don't last very well. I don't know why they do this. I would prefer a bigger booklet myself. and so you don't receive a huge amount of information. Just to show you, you get like that on each card, and the divination is like one line, so it's not the most easily accessible to beginners, or if you haven't worked with tarot before, or if you haven't got an idea of how you connect to a card and then go from there. I mean, I've been working with tarot from the very beginning, and it's a very personal process generally for me, and I don't really tend to talk about it in huge depth other than when I share the cards and talk about cards and things every now and again. But I'm certainly no expert like some of the other people on YouTube are. But I think, you know, it's a little bit of information. I'm not keen on the books like this, but if I'd have paid £35 for this, I'd have been annoyed. But I paid £7.79 for it, so I'm okay. I can live with it. I can deal with it, and it depends. Some people might throw this right out anyway and just go with their own. So we're going to go through the cards now. The card back. Oh goodness! Look at the card back. The card back are absolutely darling. Let's put it sideways on. Now, with it being ghosts and spirits, you could argue that this isn't creepy at all. I don't find this creepy whatsoever. I think they're adorable. So in keeping with Samhain. I think these are meant to be bones. There's a little bone circle around there. And you have your sort of... You could argue for sea-like or vortex-like or night sky-like imagery of energy flowing around the outside, and then your three ghosts. I think they are darling. I think they really are darling. So we're going to go through the cards one by one. So we're going to be here for a little while now. Get comfy, get a drink. I'm not going to talk about all the cards at length because we will be here forever. There you go. So this is the Fool. Got a little dog, which is awesome. There is something almost Brian Froud about this image with the... Oop, too far. With the image into the rocks here, with the faces in the rocks, and then the sort of little gremlin-y sprite creatures up top. Nice. It's probably not my favourite Fool image ever, but it's in keeping, it's in theme. Now this one I love. This is the Magician. Something, I think this is meant to have a Native American feel to it. Or perhaps Celtic. Maybe it's meant to have a Celtic feel to it, looking at the interlocking knots of the sort of moss and the fact he has blue markings down his face. Maybe that's why I like it. Beautiful though. Imagery. There's so much going on in these cards. There's so much imagery, even from this is my first look at them. High Priestess is also beautiful. The cards are slightly stuck together, which is slightly irritating. I guess that's just a new card thing. I love the motion. How steadfast she is, and then the motion from the magic. I love that. I love that. I also really enjoy the font, which might be a really weird thing to say. I really, really like the font in these cards as well. Skulls, awesome. Beautiful. The Empress, she's kind of angelic. Again, not my favourite Empress image, but I understand it. I think it's... I don't... There's something about the way she sort of got she seems a bit hunched, and I'm not... I'm not sure about that. Wow, the Emperor is different. I'm gonna guess he's either Japanese or Chinese spirit. Let's grab the booklet and see if we can. Dragon, ghost, gods. Hawaiian. Okay, he's supposedly a Hawaiian. Well, that to me speaks more of Asian, because of the Asian themes of dragon gods would be. But still, you know, still different. Very different. And then we have the High Priest. He's very spooky. And then we have the lovers. This is a really tragic lovers. So there are two of them. There's a spectre here and the on the spectral horse, and it's sort of, in some ways it's talking about the bond of the lovers throughout death, but then on the other hand there's quite a sad side of this card, which isn't usual at all. Spectre bridegroom stories represent a spectrum of emotions. When betrothed lovers are separated, circumstances change and the dynamics shift. Joyful reunions dissolve into tragedy as the real identity of the lover turned ghost is discovered. Wow! Oh, I love the next one. Wild Hunt, the Chariot. The Wild Hunt is very much tied up with Celtic lore. The Wild Hunt is a fae thing, and it's actually from how the Celtic mythology became fairy lore, and the fairy court and all that sort of thing. So it's all very much tied up. It's beautiful. Eerie. I love strength. I think strength is beautiful. It speaks of inner strength as well. I wonder if it's supposed to be mermaidy. Kelpie maybe? Oh no, it's a mummy. See, that looks like water to me. There you go. And then the Hermit is a dryad. Again, that's very Celtic-y, I love. Isn't that beautiful? Female hermit, which is always nice. A little bit of an interchange with the stereotypical gender roles. I do enjoy that when decks play with it a bit more. Because, yeah, it really is. It really is something different, and that's interesting. Wow, the Wheel of Fortune is a strong image. Look at that. There's almost no wheel in it, which again is playing with the standard imagery, which I always love it when they do that. The Wheel of Fortune is the hungry ghosts from the Hindu tradition, condemned to wander the earth until good karma is restored. Oh, that's interesting, because of how the wheel turns and restoring of balance and things. I do like that, that's good. Justice is the image from the front, from the box, which I do like. Very much so. The cards are trying to go for a walk. Yeah, Snow Ghost, Japanese. I knew it was a Japanese one. You see, this is one of the reasons I really liked the artwork from the front of the book. Japanese in style. And then we have the Hanged Man. This is a very interesting image, because you have a death element in there. I mean, obviously, with it being being a ghost and spirit deck, but you know how it's usually the Hanged Man is usually not so much about crossing over into that, what an actual Hanged Man is. Oh, he's meant to be a vampire. Like crossing the lines of life and death. I see. Interesting. Interesting. Death is absolutely gorgeous. I'm a right weirdo. I love death cards. I know what they all look like in all of my decks. Oh goodness, I'm officially a weirdo. This is obviously the Grim Reaper. But there's something beautiful about this card. You know how a lot of people... I actually saw an image from the Viking TV series the other day, and it was saying about how Bjorn said it's only death, and this is really in keeping with Samhain and how people are so afraid of death in this modern age, and yet in times gone by people weren't as afraid of death. And then you see these images like this one, and it's true of the Shadowscapes tarot, beautiful phoenix in place of death. In the Wild Unknown, it's sort of the raven skull and bones, and it's a beautiful woman in Mariel. I think those are the ones I've got right now. I know there was a Renaissance sort of image in the Paulina Tarot, but the Paulina Tarot didn't speak to me the same way. So, are they the ones I've got right now? Brain. But I love this image of death. It's colourful and vibrant, and you've got your two trees, and you know it's just another journey. It's a reflection of that. And there's still skulls, and it's still a little bit ominous, and there's a lot of light and colour and vibrance in the death card, and the scythe in coupling with the ball of light. You know, you got life and death in balance, leading. Oh, it's amazing! It's an amazing card. Temperance. We've got a water sprite here. Swan Maiden. Oh, and then we have Chains. Chains isn't your usual card. Oh. It's Chains instead of the Devil then. Yeah. Okay, so we've got Chains instead of the Devil, which is a Jacob Marley. The problem I'm going to have with this is obviously it's Christmas Carol, and any time Christmas Carol comes up, all I can think is Muppets Christmas Carol. And that's really terrible. You know the song Jacob Marley, and they shake the chains and go woo. That's all I'm going to be able to think of with this card. Oh no. And I've just ruined it for everyone else. Da -da -da. The tower is beautiful. That's labyrinthy, don't you think? Like a dark labyrinth. Love. Love. It's actually the Fall of the House of Usher from the Edgar Allan Poe's horror story. There you go. I think there's something dark labyrinthy about it. That was my immediate thought. Oh, the star is beautiful. Goodness. Look at that. Isn't that ethereal and majestic and... Ooh, beautiful. Cloud people. Pueblo Indians? Ceremonial dances were performed. Well, that's beautiful. I think that's gorgeous. The moon is gorgeous too, and it's unusual. Another one of these very cavern style, and you know it's within the earth, and that's a very unusual image for the moon. This is actually a journey to the underworld. Aeneas and his prophetic dream. So prophetic dreaming, of course, is very tied to the moon energy. We talked all about that in the Camphor and Moonstone video. Interesting. That's a very interesting take on the moon. Prophetic journeys, journeys to the underworld, things of that nature. That's great. Then we have the sun. The Grateful Dead. Oh. And then we have Judgment. Now Judgment is very Egyptian. It's not my favourite image. I understand the scales of the feather and the heart. So your heart in Egyptian, I think it was Anubis. Isn't it meant to be Anubis? That weighs up your heart versus the feather, and if your heart is the same as the feather, then there the heart was weighed against the feather of Hermit. If the feather wasn't heavier than the heart, the individual was granted passage to the throne of Osiris and the field of reeds. If not, the beastly creature Amu devoured the heart. I'm sure it's supposed to be Anubis in that position, though. That's going to bug me. Rather than this Osiris or Pharaoh image, that's odd. I wouldn't have picked that, but you know, there's always going to be some cards that you slightly disagree with, especially if you're argumentative like I am. The World. That's Jack Skellington right there. Singing along, that's awesome. Le Danse Macabre. The Dance of the Dead. The Great Equalizer. I'm sure that's a medieval image. I'm sure there is a medieval woodcut with that on it. And it's all about that we all end up in the same place. So that is our major arcana. Let's just have those there so you can see those amazing ghosts. So we'll go through the minor now. King of Wands. That's very Coronanos. Is it meant to be Coronanos? It's meant to be Herne the Hunter, so yes, basically the same thing. Herne the Hunter is given often as sort of the British equivalent. And then Queen of Wands is very important to me because Queen of Wands is what represents me usually in the tarot decks when I do a reading for myself. It's a pretty nice image. I like that. I'm happy with that. Zoom out slightly. She's a white lady. Oh, shivers. I've been in contact with white lady stories a lot of my life, so I think that works out okay. This is an odd one. Knight of Wands on the swing. Another Hawaiian one. Hiku. Page of Wands. Native American. Ghost of the girl known as Achuri. Ooh. Ooh, Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is amazing. Hang on. The card's trying to go for. Look at that. Look at that. Will-o-wisp. Oh, I like 2 of Wands as well. It's 2 of Wands. Doppelganger. Double walker. 3 of Wands. Ooh, 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands is nice too. 5 of Wands. 6 of Wands. Let's just zoom out slightly. I'm trying to make sure you can see the image, but it's not too far away. 7 of Wands. Ghost of Samuel. 8 of Wands is good. Oh, just look at that. Battlefield ghosts. 9 of Wands is a bit freaky. This is a cankerous shepherd, apparently. Zombies is 10 of Wands. So there we go. That's it. Yeah, because we're working on in the other order. Yep. So that's Wands. It's a shame they're not slightly bigger. Ooh, I love King of Swords. Just so you can see the imagery a little bit better. I don't mind them being a little bit bigger. Headless Horseman. How many Sleepy Hollow fans have we got? I love it. Queen of Swords is Banshee. Knight of Swords, I like this image, that's a powerful image. Ikimo, an ancient Babylonian vampire ghost. A Page of Swords, it's a ghost wolf. We like some ghost wolf. Oh, it's a black dog. Fine. Ace of Swords is someone from the 50s in a bad way. No? Well, I like the 2. The 2 is 2 of Swords. 3 of Swords is very Victorian. Four of Swords, that's an amazing image, I like that image. Look at that. And then we have 5 of Swords. Six of Swords. Seven. Very zombie. 8. 9. It's a good representation, I think. I think with the ethereal sword trapping her and that. Oh, I think that's great. Gosh, that's creepy. And 10 of Swords. Yep, definitely creepy and icky. Definitely creepy and icky there. Right, cups, 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 cups. King. Queen. It's a strong image. And knight. Page. Ace. The ace is beautiful. Gazelle. It's a sad, sad story. The ballet Gazelle is a tale of love, heartbreak, and the power of forgiveness. The peasant girl Gazelle was wooed by a nobleman named Elbrecht, disguised as a commoner. When she discovered he was engaged to the Duke's daughter, she spiraled into madness and died of grief. She joined the sorority of female ghosts called Willis, who, having suffered similar fates, condemned men to dance to their deaths. Gazelle saved a remorseful Albrecht from this fatal punishment, though he was sentenced to dance all night. With her help, he survived. Before retreating, Gazelle forgave him, and the two proclaimed their eternal love. Oh, that's a sweet story. Two of Cups. Three of Cups. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. Six of Cups. Seven of Cups. Ow, that's a strong image as well. Another Edgar Allan Poe one. Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. Well, that has to be done with the Ten of Cups. Yeah, Day of the Dead. Fabulous. So we're going to see if Pentacles makes the grade, because Pentacles is the one which I think a lot of tarot decks struggle with. King of Pentacles. Oh, we have a Caliach in Queen. The Knight of Pentacles. Well, the Moss Maiden. Page of Pentacles is an interesting image. The ghost's here, almost sort of meant to be hidden because your attention is taken by this plant. Like, what's going on with this plant? Jack Frost. So that's an interesting image. Jack Frost, the barrier life on the other side. I think that's a good image. Ooh, I like the ace. The ace is almost hobbity. Nice. What's actually the image of it? Rubuzel. Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Some pretty 51. Four of Pentacles. I'm not quite sure what Four of Pentacles is meant to be. Hang on. Wanjini, supernatural spirits of the Aborigine. They had the ability to transform into rocks. Five of Pentacles. Oh wow, look at this one. Six of Pentacles, look at that. The Tornak is an animistic guardian spirit who can appear as a human, stone or bear. The Eskimo Angakok shaman would serve as liaison between Eskimo people and the helpful Tornak. Wow, I really like that. That's awesome. Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. And then presumably just a spare card. That's a spare card at the end there. So there you go, you get one extra. Oh. Does it say what the extra card is? No. It's a mystery. Wow, you have a mystery card. Yep, there you go. You have a mystery card at the end. It's kind of cool. Kind of fitting with the whole theme. So, these are perfect for this time of the year. Samhain coming, Dark Half of the Year coming, Ancestor work coming. And we often talk about these things in terms of Samhain. However, and perhaps some of us Day of the Dead. However, we're going into the dark half of the year here in the Northern Hemisphere. And these things are a progressive journey, and we go through them, and it begins at Samhain. It's not just one day to honour our ancestors and sort of go back to everyday life thereafter. It's a journey, a process through that cycle. We're moving into the Crone aspect, the Crone element. We walk alongside her, and that the world slowly decays and things die and then things are reborn. So we're going through that cycle now, and I think this tarot set is going to really be wonderful for working with those energies. Sometimes a little bit macabre, but in another element there's something fantastic about it. There's something cross-cultural about it. The stories surrounding the dead and traditions across time concerning death and the dead and stories of ghosts and things. Transcending across time, across culture is just something I think which really connects us, and something which we obviously have a lot of fear about, but given the stories and things, but really it's a fascinating subject and shows us a little bit of who we are as people. So that's it for the review of Ghost and Spirit Tarot. I obviously didn't want to go into too much depth with every single card, or we would be here forever. But I hope you enjoyed it. Many blessings.